I hope the audio's good. I don't have anything plugged in for a microphone here. How do you like that afternoon sun? It has been a topsy-turvy day here at the Bowers household. We're all out of routine. We had to have a plumber come out and do some repairs. And we're not done with the day yet, so I'm just here at the beginning of the video to tell you I don't have any idea what we're going to talk about, but there's going to be a word, some events, and a song. Alrighty, I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see what tomorrow looks like. Alrighty, take care and stay curious. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for January 16th. January 16th is the 16th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 349 days remaining to the end of the year, 350 if it happens to be a leap year, as 2024 is. Today's word is spunky. Spunky is an adjective that means full of spunk. Courageous, spirited, unwilling to give up, often in a lively or playful way. Some example sentences could be, that spunky little dog chased the intruder right out of the yard, or her spunky attitude in the face of adversity inspired everyone around her, or even though he was the youngest one in the class, his spunky disposition made him stand out. The word spunky, being full of spunk, comes to us from Scottish, Gaelic before that, and the noun form spunk meant a small fire or spark. The adjective form spunky then meant showing a small fire or spark. It was easy then to apply that description to personality traits. First known use of the noun spunk is in the 1530s and the adjective spunky in 1786. Spunky. Just shy of a week ago, we talked about Julius Caesar crossing the Rubicon River against the demands of the Roman Senate not to do so, and their orders to disband his army. He did cross that river, and a civil war ensued. Now remember that the marking of time, BC, counts down to 0 and then back up to now. So this was in 49 BC when Caesar crossed the Rubicon. The Civil War followed, Caesar prevailed, and these 22 years later, Gaius Julius Caesar Octavianus was granted the title Augustus by the Roman Senate, marking the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Caesar ruled until the year 14 AD, 41 years as I reckon, until his death at the age of 75. The Crusades were a series of religious wars that took place, best I can tell, beginning in about the 700s and lasting off and on into about the 1700s. So they'd been going on for a while by the time the Council of Nablus took place. Interestingly, this Council of Nablus was kind of a mixed affair, looking to deal with both religious and secular matters. It established 25 ordinances and regulations and leaves behind the earliest surviving written laws of what is known as the Crusader Kingdom of Jerusalem. Golly, we just mentioned this guy the other day. Ross Bagdasarian Sr. was born on January 27, 1919. We know him by his stage name, David Seville, creator of the cartoon band Alvin and the Chipmunks. He also did a novelty song called Witch Doctor back in 1958. That one also hit number 1. Before that, he was a stage and film actor. You can look for him in Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window. He's the piano player in that movie. Other songs he wrote were Come On to My House by Rosemary Clooney and Hey Brother, Pour the Wine by Dean Martin. Mr. Bagdasarian passed away of a heart attack on January 16, 1972, at the age of 52. Harvey Philip Specter was born December 26, 1939. We're more familiar with him as the American record producer and songwriter Phil Spector. He's famous for a music production style known as the Wall of Sound and came to be one of the most successful producers of the 1960s, one of the most influential figures in pop music history. Beginning in 1958, he wrote or co-wrote such songs as To Know Him Is to Love Him, Be My Baby, Chapel of Love, To Do Ron Ron, River Deep Mountain High, Take Me Home Tonight, Then He Kissed Me, Walking in the Rain, and You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin', just to name a few. He co-founded the Phillies record label when he was 21, making him the youngest ever U.S. label owner at that time. We've mentioned the session musician group known as the Wrecking Crew several times before. Those folks were Phil's house band. By the mid-70s, Phil Spector had produced 18 top 10 singles for various artists. The Righteous Brothers, You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin', and the Beatles, The Long and Winding Road, are a couple of chart toppers that Phil produced. Great work. He began to wind down work in the 1980s and began to isolate and exhibit increasingly erratic behavior. He may have developed a drug or alcohol problem. In 2003, he was convicted of murdering a young woman at his home. Phil Spector passed away in prison on January 16, 2021. He was 81. Whether he wrote or produced the song or managed the group, we have definitely talked before about songs that were associated with Phil Spector in some way or another. Phil was only ever in one music group, the Teddy Bears, so let's talk today about a song written by Phil Spector and released for the first time by the Teddy Bears. The title was inspired by a phrase on his late father's headstone that read, To know him was to love him. This sweet little song called To Know Him Is to Love Him was released by the Teddy Bears in September of 1958, made it to the #1 spot on the brand new Billboard Hot 100 chart in 1958. The song was changed a little in title and lyrics to Know You Is to Love You, performed by Peter and Gordon and Bobby Vinton. And in 1987, Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, and Emmylou Harris released the song as a single in January of 1987, and then on an album titled Trio in March of that year. What stunning voices those ladies have. To Know Him Is to Love Him, written by Phil Spector. I've included the Teddy Bears and the Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, and Emmylou Harris versions in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That playlist lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page. It's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.